Is it true that Taehyung deliberately revealed Jungkook's darkest secrets in front of the BTS members? Why did his words make the room silent instantly, even making Jungkook speechless and the army unable to accept the fact? Is this the beginning of a broken friendship that has always looked perfect? Or is there something deeper, more painful, that has been hidden from the public all this time? No one expected that the day would be one of the most emotional and shocking days in BTS history. No one was really ready, not even the BTS members themselves, let alone the army who witnessed indirectly from the viral video footage a few minutes after the incident. Taehyung's words sounded light, almost like a joke, but Jungkook's expression said something else. And more surprisingly, the expressions of the other members, Jimin, Jin, Namjoon, Suga, and J-Hope, changed instantly. It was as if they all knew something that shouldn't be said in public. But why did Taehyung do it? What exactly does Taehyung mean when he mentions the past that Jungkook doesn't want to face anymore? Is this just a joke at the wrong moment, or is there anger in store? And if this was indeed a mistake, why did it take so long for Taehyung to finally confirm that he's going to apologize? This story is not just about one wrong speech. This is a story about pent-up tension, about wounds that may never heal completely, about two friends' seemingly unshakable relationship, until one sentence changes everything. Taehyung's words did sound like part of a spontaneous conversation, but all who watched knew there was something unusual in his tone. Bitter tone? Regrets? Or rather subtle innuendo? And Jungkook, the man who was always known for his smile, suddenly fell silent. His eyes looked blank, and even when Jimin tried to gently grasp his hand, Jungkook didn't react. The moment was caught on camera, and in a matter of minutes, the whole world wondered, what exactly happened? Why would a known gentle Taehyung say such a thing? And why did Jungkook react as if he had just been betrayed? Those questions continue to haunt every BTS fan. Video footage of the incident was dissected by the army from various countries. Some consider this just a misunderstanding. But not a few also believe that Taehyung's words have a heavier emotional burden than it seems. Some even claim that this is the culmination of a hidden conflict that has been masked by cameras and stage highlights. But even more astonishing was Bang Si-hyuk's reaction. The producers and brains behind BTS's success immediately stepped in. In his official statement, he emphasized that any misunderstandings between members must be resolved in a mature manner and with an open heart. But the most surprising part came when he directly asked Taehyung to take responsibility. If your words hurt Jungkook, then you must have the courage to face it and apologize, Bang PD said in a very serious tone in HYB's closed-door meeting that was leaked to the public. After that, news came that Taehyung had taken the initiative to meet Jungkook in person. Not in front of the camera, not in front of the manager, not in the training room, but in a quiet space where only the two of them could talk heart to heart. Internal reports say that Taehyung looks very sorry. He reportedly cried when he realized that his words really hurt Jungkook. So what exactly is Taehyung talking about? This is the most mysterious and painful part of the story, because until now, no one could be sure exactly what Taehyung meant. Some suspected it was related to the trainee incident. Others mentioned the dark times before the debut. There are also those who believe that this is related to Jungkook's personal relationship that has been hidden from the public, something that only the closest members know about. But is it worth it if such a secret is spoken just like that, even in the form of a joke? Isn't everyone entitled to keep the wounds of their past hidden, especially in the midst of the spotlight of a world that endlessly demands perfection from them? What exactly prompted Taehyung to finally say that? Is it because of pressure? Feeling tired? Or is this an expression of anger from a conflict that was never resolved? To be sure, this event has left a wound, both for Jungkook, Taehyung, and ARMY who watched everything from a distance. Those who have always believed that the relationship of BTS members is unshakable are now forced to face the fact that even among the most beautiful friendships, there are always vulnerable gaps. But in the midst of it all, there is still hope. Hope that Taehyung's clarification will not just be a formality. Hope that the meeting with Jungkook will be a moment of recovery. And most importantly, the hope that BTS will still walk together despite having to go through deep wounds first. Because in the end, This is the BTS that the world knows and loves. Not because they are perfect, but because they are human. Human beings who have been wrong, have been hurt, but also know how to love and forgive each other. But time does not give pause. As the news spread on social media, public cameras, netizens, spies, and journalists continued to spot Taehyung and Jungkook's every move. When they were not seen together as usual, rumors immediately flooded the internet. Is their relationship really cracking? Did Jungkook choose to stay away? And is Taehyung struggling on his own with overwhelming remorse? There was one moment that was secretly recorded behind the stage of an event. Jungkook is seen standing alone near the monitor screen, while Taehyung seems to want to approach. But when they were a few steps away, Taehyung stopped. He just stared at Jungkook's back, clasped his own left hand tightly, then turned his face away. The moment was captured on staff cameras, and the short clip went viral, leaving ARMY sobbing because the grief radiated was so real. Not only because the two friends seemed separated by an invisible distance, but because their silence is louder than words. The electrifying question, is it just about speech? Or are there other wounds that have never been healed? Then came the official statement from the HYB side. In a release translated in various languages, it was written that Taehyung had personally delivered an apology to Jungkook. They also said they would take the time to resolve the matter personally, without pressure from management or the media. But the ARMY was not satisfied. They want to see evidence. They wanted to know how Jungkook looked when he accepted the apology. Is she crying? Did he hug Taehyung? Or was he still hurt and chose to remain silent? Even sadder, some fans began to blame each other. The ARMY community, which has been known to be solid and supportive, is now split into two sides that question each other. Why is Taehyung so broken? And is Jungkook too sensitive? In fact, that's not the point of all this. Because it's not about who's wrong or who's right. It's about accidentally opened wounds. A wound that may have long been buried in silence. An invisible wound behind the camera's glare and a sweet smile on stage. Meanwhile, Jimin, who is known to be the closest to these two members, finally opened his voice in a live broadcast that he initially intended only to greet ARMY. With slightly puffy eyes, he said, "You don't know how much we love each other. But love can also hurt if you're not careful." The sentence immediately drew thousands of tearful comments from fans. Because if Jimin says that, it means that the wound inside is really real. Not long after, a short video was uploaded by V Wevers, Taehyung's official account. In the video, he sits alone in a dimly lit studio. She doesn't wear makeup. She doesn't wear expensive clothes. Just a gray hoodie and casual pants. But the most striking thing is his expression. Honest, tired, and broken. I know I've made a mistake. I know my words hurt the people I love so much. And I won't look for excuses. I just want him to know that I'm really sorry, she said, looking down. Then he looks at the camera as if speaking directly to Jungkook. If you can still hear me, I'd like to meet and talk. Without a camera, without a manager, just the two of us. Because you are more than a friend to me, you are a brother. That last sentence piece that made thousands of ARMY cry in the comments. However, there remained a void. No reaction from Jungkook. No posts. No words. Just silence. And that silence actually raises a new, more painful question. Is this wound too deep to be forgiven? But exactly 2 days after the clarification video was uploaded, a surprise appeared. A fan's camera captured Taehyung and Jungkook walking out of a small restaurant in the Hanamdong area. They don't hold hands. Not hugging each other. But they go hand in hand. Slow down. Shut up. But together, the photo is like the first rain after a long dry season. The ARMY came back alive with hope. Although no one knew what they were talking about inside the restaurant, everyone could feel that the moment was not an ordinary meeting. It was a meaningful meeting. There may still be pain. There may still be some distance. But there is also hope that is beginning to grow back. And today, when we see them again standing together on stage, their smiles may not have been as wide as usual. But the smile is real, fragile, but sincere. But like Jimin said, love can hurt. But love also knows how to heal if we give it time. SO for every army that asks, is BTS going to be okay? The answer lies not just in clarification, not just an apology, but in their journey to forgiveness. A journey that may not be perfect, but precisely because it is so human. Very BTS. But love doesn't always speak out loud. Sometimes, love comes in its quietest form in the way Taehyung wipes his eyes, silently, when he sees Jungkook laughing for the first time after the incident. In a way, Jungkook chose not to reply to netizens' insinuations, but instead posted a picture of the twilight sky with a one-word caption, processing. And the process seems unfinished. Because even after their meeting at the Hanamdong restaurant, and even though the world again saw them in one frame, there was still a different vibe. They are no longer as romantic as they used to be in front of the camera. No more moments of Taehyung making fun of each other funny on variety shows. No spontaneous hugs during rehearsals. No eye contact on stage that used to always make ARMY scream. But what is love if it is not tested? That question haunts every fan who follows their journey since debut. Many admitted to crying silently, not only because they were afraid of losing Taehyung and Jungkook's closeness, but because they realized one bitter thing, that even the strongest relationships can hurt, and not all wounds can heal as they once did. However, it is precisely from that rift that we see the more human side of BTS. They are no longer just perfect idols who dance in unison and smile with the sparkle of stars. They are human beings who struggle to take care of each other. Although sometimes they have to fail, they have to hurt each other without intention, they have to lose their way before recovering. There is one thrilling moment that is clear evidence that Taehyung's heart is really trying to improve. At their small concert for select fans in Osaka, Japan, Taehyung was seen standing closer than usual to Jungkook. He stared at the magne as they sang the song, Magic Shop. And in the lyrics, "So show me, I'll show you," Taehyung doesn't stare at the camera, but at Jungkook. Old. Inside, the ARMY was stunned. The tears flowed back. Because it wasn't the lyrics that left everyone speechless, but rather the fact that behind the lyrics, there was hope, that Taehyung was saying without a word, "I want you to know, I'm still here. I want to fix everything." And Jungkook? He didn't respond with lyrics, but he turned his head. He looked at Taehyung for a moment, then nodded. One time, that moment became the most touching symbol that changed the perception of many people. Clarification is no longer just a matter of words or apology videos. It's about intention seen in small actions. About a silent attempt to fix something fragile. It's about understanding that sometimes an apology isn't enough, but it still needs to start. Meanwhile, Bang Si-hyuk also made a surprising comment in a limited interview that was recorded privately. He said, "I was afraid they wouldn't be able to go back to the way they used to be. But after I saw how they were silent about each other in one room, then still chose to sit side by side, I know their love is still there. That love is not lost. Just learning to walk again." But not all parties take this incident for granted. Some overseas media outlets have sharply questioned BTS' integrity in maintaining their image of togetherness. One of the articles from America was even titled, "Brotherhood or Branding? The Hidden Rift in BTS." The article explicitly mentions that emotional conflicts between members can be manipulated as a promotional strategy. This immediately made the army of the whole world unite to defend his idol. Thousands of open letters were written, millions of hashtags were buzzed, all for the sake of one goal, to protect BTS from narrative injustice. But no less painful is the news that Jungkook decided to cancel a secret solo project that was previously scheduled to be announced that month. According to an internal source, the project is a very emotional personal work, which tells a lot about hugging old wounds. But after the incident with Taehyung, Jungkook felt he wasn't ready. It broke the ARMY's heart. But they also understand. They know that Jungkook isn't just an idol, he's human. A young man who grew up amid glitters, but harbors many wounds unknown to the world. And in a sudden live in the middle of the night, Jungkook appeared. Without makeup, just a dark hoodie and a hat. He doesn't talk much. But there was one sentence that left everyone speechless. Sometimes, the people you love the most are also the ones who can hurt you the most. He was silent for a moment, then continued with a hoarse voice. But if you really love them, you will try to forgive. Instantly, the comments column was filled with sentences from the army who cried, who prayed, who hoped. And at the end of his live, Jungkook wrote one sentence that instantly trended around the world. Forgiveness is love. And in the morning, Taehyung's account posted a picture of 2 empty chairs facing the sea. The caption is short, "I'm still waiting for you here." Is this the end of their injury story? Or is it precisely the beginning of a new, deeper, more honest, and stronger chapter? ARMY knows that the story of BTS is not a fairy tale, but a true story filled with ups and downs. And this time, they don't just love Taehyung and Jungkook because of their togetherness, but because of their courage to admit their wounds, their courage to process, and their determination to stand still, even when they